Imagine a scruffy kid on the rocky, sun-baked streets of Madeira, barefoot, kicking around a sock stuffed with rags because his family couldn't afford a real football. No shoes, no pitch, just pure hunger and a dream that refused to die. That boy grew up to become football's first billionaire, a five-time Ballon d'Or winner, the all-time leading scorer in Champions League history, and a global icon whose CR7 empire spans hotels, gyms, fragrances, and a net worth north of $1.4 billion. His name is Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro, and this is his untold story, how a street kid from crushing poverty rewrote the rules of what's possible through relentless discipline, raw talent, and an unbreakable will. Welcome to the journey that proves no background is too humble when your obsession is bigger than your circumstances. Born on February 5, 1985 in the parish of Santo Antonio in Funchal, Madeira, Cristiano was the youngest of four children in a family scraping by on the edge of survival. His mother, Maria Dolores dos Santos Aveiro, worked as a cook in the hospitality industry and later as a cleaner, while his father, José Denis Aveiro, was a municipal gardener and part-time kitman for the local amateur club Andorinha. The family lived in a tiny, overcrowded house where Cristiano shared a single room with his older brother Hugo and sisters Elma and Liliana Katja. Poverty wasn't just a word, it was their daily reality. They barely had enough to eat, let alone luxuries. In her raw autobiography, Mother Courage, Dolores later revealed a heartbreaking secret. When she discovered she was pregnant with her fourth child, the financial strain, combined with her husband's growing alcoholism, pushed her to consider abortion. She even tried homemade remedies, drinking warm beer and running until she dropped, but the doctor refused, and she carried the pregnancy to term. Years later, when Cristiano learned the story, he looked his mother in the eyes and said with a grin, "Look, Mum, you wanted to abort me, and now I'm the one who's pulling the purse strings in the house." It was his way of turning pain into purpose, a moment that encapsulated the unbreakable bond between mother and son. Life in those early years was tough and unfiltered. Cristiano's father had served in the Portuguese army during the colonial war in Angola, an experience that left him battling severe alcoholism for the rest of his life. He was kind but absent, often spending what little money the family had on drink rather than food or bills. Dolores worked grueling hours just to keep the lights on, and young Cristiano would tag along to Andorinha's matches, where his dad handled the kits. That's where the football obsession began, not on manicured pitches, but on the dusty streets of Madeira. He played with whatever he could find, socks rolled into balls, plastic bottles, or anything that bounced. Neighbors remember him as the kid who never went home until the streetlights flickered on, practicing stepovers and free kicks until his feet bled. By age 6, he was officially playing for Andorinha, and at 8 he moved to CD Nacional. Scouts noticed the skinny, hyper-focused boy who could dribble past anyone twice his age. But even then, the dream felt distant. Madeira is a small island off Portugal's coast, far from the bright lights of European football, and the Aveiro family had no connections, no money for boots or travel. Ronaldo has said in countless interviews that football was his escape, the only thing that made the empty fridge and his father's struggles bearable. At just 12 years old, everything changed when Sporting CP scouts spotted him during a 3-day trial in Lisbon. They offered a modest fee of around £1,500 to sign him into their youth academy. For a family barely surviving, it was a lifeline, but it came at a devastating personal cost. Cristiano had to leave his parents, siblings, and the only home he'd ever known to move nearly 600 miles away to the mainland. The homesickness hit like a freight train. In Lisbon, the street kid from Madeira stood out in the worst way. His thick Madeiran accent made him a target for bullying. Teammates mocked him relentlessly, calling him the little islander or worse. He cried himself to sleep many nights, begging his mother on the phone to let him come home. But Dolores, the same woman who had fought to bring him into the world, refused. She told him, "This is your chance, don't throw it away."
School was another battle. Ronaldo struggled academically, eventually quitting after the 6th grade to focus entirely on football. He once threw a chair at a teacher who disrespected him, leading to expulsion. But the biggest scare came at 15, when a routine medical check revealed tachycardia, a dangerous condition where his heart raced uncontrollably even at rest, sometimes exceeding 100 beats per minute. Doctors warned it could end his career or worse. His mother rushed him to surgery, a laser ablation procedure that cauterized the faulty pathways in his heart. He was in and out the same day, back training within days, as if the universe itself was testing whether this kid had the heart, literally, to become a legend. Ronaldo has rarely spoken about it publicly, but his mother later shared in interviews how close they came to losing everything that day. The rise began in earnest at Sporting CP. By 17, he made his first team debut in a Champions League qualifier against Inter Milan. His flashy stepovers and blistering speed turned heads. In 2003, during a friendly against Manchester United at the inauguration of Sporting's new stadium, the English Giants were blown away. United's players urged Sir Alex Ferguson to sign him on the spot. At 18, Ronaldo became the first Portuguese player to join Manchester United for a record £12 million, England's most expensive teenager at the time. He inherited the iconic number 7 shirt, once worn by George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. Ferguson became a father figure, molding the raw talent into a machine. But the transition wasn't smooth. The Premier League was physical, fast, and unforgiving. Ronaldo faced criticism for diving and showboating. Teammates like Ruud van Nistelrooy clashed with him publicly. Off the pitch, tragedy struck in 2005 when his father died at 52 from alcohol-related liver failure. He was devastated. In emotional interviews years later, he broke down remembering, "It's sad to be number 1 and my father didn't see anything. He didn't see me receive the awards. My family saw it, but he didn't." That pain fueled him. He channeled the grief into obsession. No alcohol, no late nights, just relentless gym sessions and skill work that turned him from a tricky winger into a goal-scoring phenomenon.
By the 2006-07 season, the world saw the explosion. Ronaldo scored 23 goals, won the Premier League, and swept every major individual award in England. The first player to claim PFA Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, and Fans Player of the Year in one campaign. The 2007-08 season was historic. 42 goals in all competitions, the Champions League title, and his first Ballon d'Or at just 23. He scored in the final against Chelsea, winning on penalties. Sir Alex called him the most gifted player he'd ever managed. Then came the world record £80 million move to Real Madrid in 2009, the Galactico era's crown jewel. At the Bernabeu, Ronaldo shattered records like they were made of glass. He became the club's all-time top scorer with 450 goals in 438 games. 4 Champions League titles in 5 years, including that unforgettable three-peat from 2016 to 2018. La Liga titles, Copa del Rey triumphs, and 4 more Ballon d'Ors. The 2013-14 season alone saw him net 51 goals as Real won La Decima, their 10th European crown. He formed the deadly BBC trio with Benzema and Bale, but it was Ronaldo's superhuman work ethic, training twice as hard as anyone, that separated him. He broke the Champions League single-season goal record with 17 in 2013-14, then did it again later. Internationally, he captained Portugal to their first major trophy at Euro 2016, lifting the trophy on crutches after tearing a knee ligament in the final. It was pure Ronaldo, injured but unbreakable, willing his team to victory. Yet the peak wasn't without shadows and controversies. In 2009, a woman named Catherine Mayorga accused Ronaldo of rape in Las Vegas following a night out. The case dragged through the courts for years. Ronaldo always maintained it was consensual, and in 2019, the charges were dropped after a settlement with no further legal action. He has spoken little about it publicly, focusing instead on clearing his name through evidence. Then there was the tax dispute in Spain. Prosecutors accused him of evading 14.7 million euros in taxes between 2011 and 2014 by routing image rights income through offshore companies. Ronaldo denied intentional wrongdoing, but in 2019 he accepted an 18.8 million euro fine and a suspended 2-year prison sentence to resolve the case quickly. He called it a mistake in structuring his affairs and moved on, later ensuring full compliance. These moments tested his image, but Ronaldo's response was always the same: double down on performance. At Juventus from 2018, he won 2 Serie A titles and became the first player to score 100 goals in 3 major European leagues. A brief, dramatic return to Manchester United in 2021 saw him score 24 goals despite off-field tension, culminating in a controversial exit after an explosive Piers Morgan interview where he criticised the club's direction. In 2023, he joined Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia on a deal reportedly worth over 200 million euros a year, tax-free, shattering records again and proving age was just a number as he continued scoring at an elite level past 40. Beyond the pitch, Ronaldo built an empire that turned him into football's first billionaire. It started with a simple trademark in 2007 for CR7, his initials and shirt number. Today, that brand is a lifestyle juggernaut. CR7 underwear, fragrances, denim, footwear and eyewear, generating tens of millions annually in licensing. He partnered with the Pestana Group for CR7 hotels and resorts in Lisbon, Madrid, Marrakesh, New York and Madeira, luxury properties where guests sleep under the same brand he once dreamed about as a kid. CR7 fitness gyms dot Europe and beyond, offering his signature training methods. Add in a lifetime Nike deal worth over $1 billion, endorsements with Tag Heuer, Herbalife and others, plus smart investments in real estate, clinics and media. By 2025, Bloomberg confirmed his net worth crossed $1.4 billion, making him the first footballer to achieve billionaire status through a perfect storm of salary, sponsorships and business savvy. Yet he never forgot where he came from. Ronaldo has donated millions to children's hospitals, cancer research and disaster relief. He's given away his golden boots for charity, regularly donates blood, and even paid for life-saving treatments for fans. His brother Hugo battled alcoholism like their father. Ronaldo intervened, helping him into rehab and supporting the family quietly. Today, as a father to 5 children, Cristiano Jr., the twins Eva and Matteo, Alana Martina and Bella Esmeralda, he pours the love he craved as a boy into his family, often posting training sessions with his kids and crediting his mother Dolores, who still lives with him and helps raise them. So what's the legacy? Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just become one of the greatest footballers who ever lived, he redefined excellence. 5 Ballon d'Ors, 5 Champions League titles, a European Championship with Portugal, and over 900 career goals. He holds records that may never be broken. Most Champions League goals, most international goals for a European player, first to score in 5 World Cups. But the real untold story is the mindset. In public interviews, he said time and again, "I don't follow the path, I create it." No shortcuts, no excuses. He sleeps 8 hours, trains like a machine, eats meticulously, and treats his body like a temple. He turned every obstacle, poverty, bullying, heart surgery, loss, and criticism into rocket fuel. To every kid watching from a small town, a tough neighborhood, or a broken home, his message is clear. Talent is nothing without obsession. Dedication beats talent when talent doesn't dedicate. Ronaldo's journey from street kid to billionaire isn't a fairy tale. It's proof that with sacrifice, resilience, and belief, you can rewrite your stars. He once said, "I was born to be the best." And whether you love him or debate him, one thing is undeniable. The boy who kicked rags in Madeira became the man who conquered the world.
So next time life knocks you down, remember Ronaldo. Get up, lace up, and keep chasing that dream, because the greatest stories are written by those who refuse to quit. What will your legacy be? The ball is in your court.